So, the kind of events that cause a form of amnesia are not prescripted events. For instance, no matter how emotional one is at one's wedding, it's a prescripted event, and so it's as if we already know how we are supposed to feel or react. So, when I'm talking about events that cause a temporary amnesia, whether that event causes long term amnesia regarding the event or short term, I'm talking about unscripted events. That is, things that happen that are not programmed in the culture, things that happen that are not predictable, that are not even present in the culture. The culture has a way of looking at events in a scripted way, and there's nothing wrong with that. Marriages, for instance, have been happening for aeons, and so they have become scripted. Maybe even some abusive events may have become scripted because of their frequency. I'm talking about significant events, as in the 8 type of events I mentioned in the previous reel, that are so profoundly affecting the inner core of your being that there is no way to know, to react, to respond emotionally or even actually by action, because in your experience that event is something you are not prepared for, nor should you have been, and it causes an amnesia. And this can also be not only for traumatic events, but also for amazingly beautiful, significant events that are so out of line with cultural predictions, cultural ways of looking at things, that you really seem to forget. I'll give you a crazy example. There are a number of people who have claimed to have been abducted by aliens, or who have claimed to have been talked to by aliens. And many of them say that as soon as the event was over, they completely forgot about it for about 5 years. So when something is not scripted, when something is not understandable in a way that can be processed emotionally, then that can happen, that you don't really consciously remember until you can. And sometimes being able to remember brings up a lot of emotions. And so those events are very determining, especially when they occur in the family and in relationships, because isn't life all about relationships? Mostly. So if you find yourself recalling and going back to something that happened that you might not have paid attention to consciously, that is a good sign. It is a sign that you have reached the point where you can begin to analyze and understand what was really happening, in the sense of how it has affected you and what kind of beliefs it led you to. Not only about yourself, but about people in general, about relationships in general.